Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Jewel Williams. You're listening to All Things Logistics. Thanks for tuning in. And this is part 6 in my 6-part series on how you can better position yourself during this recession to make sure that you're being profitable and staying afloat. These are just some tips. Some of you may already know, but some of you might be new in the game, or you might be evaluating going into the trucking business, and you might be trying to figure out, how do you put all this stuff together? How do you get all these numbers? How do you know if you're going to make money? Well, that's what this 6-part series was about. It was about first knowing, one, what kind of equipment you need so you can make sure that you got the right freight. Number 2, you wanted to make sure that you looking at shippers in your region. Then I talked to you about building a route in your region so that way you can stay as close to home as you can, surrounding and making pickups and deliveries in the surrounding states when you build out your routes. Then I talked about fuel costs because that's important. And I also talked about hours because you want to know how many hours can you work if you're out here doing a 60-hour week or versus a 70-hour week. And then you want to know if your fuel costs, you want to factor that in. Now, I separated out the fuel costs because fuel costs is going to fluctuate a lot due to the fact that fuel rates fluctuate as much as they do. And so if it were me, I would be recalculating my fuel rates on a daily basis. I would be looking at the state that I was in and making sure that I got the average, and I would, or the mean, the medium, as far as the freight fuel cost goes, and then I would be calculating that out every day in my calculator. So in this video, I'm talking about kind of putting this all together in a way that makes sense. So this right here is a chart that you're looking at from OOIDA, which is the owner operator organization. And it basically talks about some of the fixed costs that you have, fixed costs being truck payments, trailer payments, collision insurance, bobtail insurance, cargo insurance, health insurance, licenses, permits, accounting services, return on investment. So your total fixed costs on an annual basis could be $27,616. And they talked about on a monthly basis it being up to $2,301.33. Now, of course, I don't know how old this is, but it gives you a ballpark about whereabouts you need to be when you're calculating your monthly cost. Okay, so that's the baseline. Now you've got your variable cost. You've got your tractor fuel. All right, that's going to fluctuate. And then I talked about if you chose to do a reefer trailer, you might have reefer fuel that you have to pay for. So you got to put that into consideration. Then you've got here tractor tires and trailer tires. You got maintenance costs, repair, truck wash, telephone, cell phone services, lodging. You might want to stay the night at a hotel if that's possible. Most people sleep in their trucks. You've got your meal cost. You've got loading and unloading charges. Sometimes there's lumper fees, but those fees should be charged back to the shipper or the receiver. They should not be charged to you. Most of the time, the shipper pays for those lumper charges because it's the receiver that has the lumpers, and you usually see those in grocery stores or distribution centers like that. But I've usually saw them in food distribution warehouses, and I think it's because they're union or something like that. You've got your tolls. If you're going up north, you got the Washington Bridge and all those kind of costs. So you got toll fees, legal fees for speeding, things like that, accidents. You got fines if you got an overweight ticket. You got cargo claims if you've messed up something, if you're strapping your loads, and if you're using low blocks, low bars, straps, and things like that to minimize the shifting of your load. Now, sometimes I know those trailers come preloaded and they're sealed, so you don't know what's in them and you don't know how it was loaded, and you just gotta, do what you do. But I would definitely be taking pictures of that and making that a note of that for the make sure I wouldn't get that claim. Scale fees, when you want to weigh, you got to go to CAT scales, and I recommend scaling out your truck on every load because going to different places, they may load the pallets different. They may put more weight in the nose, more weight on the tail. Hopefully they're putting in the nose. Hopefully they know what they're doing. Some of them unload left to right, front to back. Some of them load 2, 1, 2. Some of them load down the middle. It all depends. So you just want to make sure you weigh that trailer. So you've got scale fees, of course, workman's comp, taxes, and miscellaneous. So they calculate out of this a total variable cost of $3,751.83. Total vehicle costs of $6,053.17 a month. Okay. Then you've got your driver's income at $2,594.21. And then you got your total cost of operations, which is $8,647.38. So this is a good starting block right here. Now, I did a little bit different when I was calculating out today, and but I'm going to use these numbers just for training purposes, so that you understand what kind of cost you need to factor in. Now, as we talked about earlier, tractor fuel, and I'm going to go back to my example that I had earlier on another video, which you can watch up here. And what I saw, this is how I calculated out that you would be spending on average about $327 per day. Okay. So I'm curious how close we are to their monthly cost. I think their monthly tractor fuel cost is very low. I think that is very, very low. And maybe they did this when they were doing, when fuel costs were down to like $2 a gallon. But that's $17.25, and you're working 6 weeks. You're working 6 weeks. So you figured, now let's calculate out. We figured we were working, we were going to drive 520 miles per day, and we were going to work 7 days a week, right? So let's put another line on this one, and let's do, we're doing weekly drive. Okay. So we got 520 miles. We're being conservative. 520 miles, slow right now, per day. Okay. Times, we're working the 7 days. Okay. We're going to do the 7 days. So how many miles per week equals how many miles per week? We are at 520 times 7. We're about 3,646 miles per week. 3,646 miles. Is that right? Sure got it right. No, 40 miles. My bad. Just 40 miles. 40 miles per week. Okay? So that's some good mileage. If you're getting the right money, you're making some good money. So we got 3,640 miles per week. So we're going to put that over here. So miles per week is 3,640. All right. Now, we said our fuel, we got 150 gallons. And for a full, we can go 975 miles per full tank. Okay, so how many times are we going to need to fill up? That's my question. How many times am I going to have to refuel my truck to drive this not 3,000 something miles? So we get 975 miles per fill up. Okay, so 3,640 divided by 975. How many miles am I getting, or how many times am I going to have to fill up? Okay, we're going to divide that by 975. 3 times. 3.7 times. We're going to say 4 times. Equals, we're rounding up. We're going to say 4 times. 4 fill-ups. So that means for our week, okay, we drove 3,640 miles. You with me? We know we can get 975 miles per full tank. So that's going to take us 4 fill-ups. Now we know it cost us at $4.14. It costs us $621 for a fill-up. So we're going to do that 4 times. 621 times 4. So 621 times 4. Oops. Let's see. Go back. All right. Here we go. 621 times 4. Make sure we know that's $621 equals. So this is what it's going to cost us for the week. Okay, this is our first week out. We've been sitting at home on vacation, and $24.84. So fuel for that first week is $24.84. So you see, they got here tractor fuel variable costs on a monthly basis is $1,725. We know that's not true because fuel costs are so high. So good chances are this was made like when fuel was like $1 a gallon. I don't know where that was made. So anyway, that's a lot of money for a week. For a week, if we drove 3,640 miles, a couple turns, we were pretty busy. Now, with it being slow, that's probably not true, but that gives you an idea of where you want to start with. Okay, just your fuel. This is just your fuel. So what I'm going to do with this variable cost right here, I'm going to subtract out that $17.25, and I'm going to add in. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. You guys are really hurting out here because they're talking about 3,751.83 cents. These numbers can't be right. I gotta check my numbers, fellas. So $4.16 per gallon. I know I got let me see, 6.5 miles per gallon. Yep, times, okay, 6.5, 975. Okay. Yeah, it's expensive. It is expensive right now to run a truck. It really is. It is absolutely insane. So you're looking at 4 fill-ups in a week. So you're really going to have to determine, just by looking at this, a strategy that you minimize how many times you fill up. You got to stretch your fuel as much as you can, because at $24.84 and the market is the way it is, that's ugly. So if we took their cost, and we subtracted out that fuel at $17.25, and we added in this, that would bring your monthly operating cost up another $1,000 to $9,000 some change. About that, let me see. Let's do the math. Okay, so they're telling us 8,647. Okay, let me click over here so you can follow with me. All right, so I'm looking at this number right down in here. I'm looking at this number right here. Okay, so, and I'm going to subtract this number out because I'm going to add in my number that I have for fuel, which is this number here. Okay, so that's basically what I'm doing, substituting numbers. So 8,647 minus 1725. Okay, then we're going to add in the 24.84, and we're at 94.06 monthly cost. 94.06. Okay, so I'm going to put 94.06 over here at your monthly cost. Okay, monthly cost. 94.06. Okay, so you guys know how I got that number. I got that number. I used the fuel, and I just used this little guide chart here from OOIDA to just help me out, just get for teaching purposes here. But I really wanted to be more realistic with this fuel cost, because we know fuel cost has gone up. So it's gone up for about $1,000, a little under $1,000, but it moves your operating costs up to 94.06 versus where it is right now, 86.47. That's why I think it's important, if you're going to be doing something like this, you need to be adjusting your fuel costs daily. Daily. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Adjust your fuel costs daily. So when we look at this information, now ask yourself, this is what you need per month. Okay, that's what you need per month. How much do you need per mile is the next question. How much do you need per mile? So you're driving $3,640, $3,640 miles per week. And you know what? I just realized something. I put in that 2484, and I calculated this out for 7 days. So I need to do this for a month. Was this 3640? That's weekly cost. Okay. So I need to adjust this down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go back. Go back. So I want to do this differently. So I'm going to take out, 86.47 minus 17.25. Okay, that gives us 69.22 per month. So 69.22 per month without fuel. Okay, this is without fuel. All right, so this way we know what that is. Now I want to divide that cost out by the week, and that's why I went and subtracted that back out. I want to do this by the week. So what do we need if we divide that out per week? Weekly is going to be 60. We're going to divide this by 4 4 weeks, and divide that by 4, and that's 1731 a week. So weekly is 1730. Now is weekly cost. Let me put that there. So weekly cost. Now what I want to do is I want to take thy fuel weekly cost and add it to that 1730. Okay? So with fuel, weekly cost with fuel is, we got 20, go back over here to my calculator, and I rounded, just so you know, I rounded down by 50 cents. Doesn't matter. So 1730 a week plus 2484 equals, oh my gosh. So we're looking at 40. It can't be right. Let me clear that again. It can't be right. 2484 plus 1730. Yep, 4214. All right, 4214. What did I do that for? 4214 a week with fuel. So that's a lot of money, but that's supposed to cover truck payments, truck insurance, fuel, maintenance. All that stuff has to be accounted for, and that is a lot of money for a week, but that is doable for a week. So, but what does that calculate out in miles? What should you be demanding from the broker, from the shipper, negotiating with them that what you can do per mile? So what you're going to do is you're going to take that 42 and you're going to divide it into those mileage, and that's going to give you your per mile cost. So let's do that. So we've got let me make sure I'm doing this right. I think it's going to be 42 14. I don't know why I can't hit that 2. Divided by 3640. 3640. Oops. 40 equals. Let's go to the calculator. See if I got this right. Divided by 3640. So you should be around $1.15 a mile. Let's see if that's right. If that's right. Let's see if that's right. $1.16 a mile. Let's see if that's right. $1.16 times 3640. 3640 is 42.22. So $1.16 a mile. $1.16 a mile. Per mile. Okay, so $1.16 a mile, and you run 3,640 miles, you'll make 42.22. It's actually going to be a little bit more. Equals, because I rounded up. Okay. So it's actually going to come out to 42.22 in a week. Okay. Now, some of you probably looking at me like, I don't know what kind of math she's doing. Here's what's going to make the difference in my math versus your math. Okay. And we're going to go over it on this chart right here. Number one, what's going to make the difference is your truck payment. If you've got a high truck payment, if it's more than what they've got right here, that's going to make a difference in your numbers. Your insurance, that's another number that's going to factor in. Now they've got here bobtail insurance, which you might not need, cargo insurance, health insurance, all those costs have gone up since they've done this chart. So yes, I'm coming out with $1.16, but that is based on numbers here that may be different than what they were. So you got to factor that stuff in. And then maintenance costs have gone up. So they factored in $389.67 on maintenance costs, yet maintenance costs have gone up since this was made. So what I'm doing, though, for training purposes, for educational purposes, this is all for educational purposes. This is not to say that you should go out here and this is what you should be charging. This is not to say that if a broker says, oh, I saw a video from XYZ girl, and she said $1.16 is all you get. No, absolutely not. What it is going to, or I'm hoping this does for you, is that you take the process that I've laid out here and you put together your own cost. That's what you got to be doing. You got to be putting together your own cost. Because if you're not putting together your own cost, how do you know what you need to make every mile, every day, every week, every month, and every year? There's no way. If you're not measuring this stuff, if you're not paying attention, how far are you going? How fast are you driving? Are you picking up? If you're not quantifying your day-to-day activity, how are you going to know what you should be asking for when the broker gets you on the phone and says, I'm only offering $1 for this? Okay. And you just hear 3,640 miles at $1, but yet you haven't covered your base cost. You haven't covered your fuel costs as sufficiently as you should, because fuel prices went up from the time you woke up to the time you went and picked up. Okay. So these are just things that, this is just a teaching tool to help you understand how do you get there. So if we first and looking at how many hours we're going to work, we started there and understanding how to break down how many miles we could drive within those hours. Then we went over here and we said, okay, and within those hours, how many miles can I get? Well, what's that going to look like in fuel costs? So what I did was I took the operation process and I just put it into numbers so that you can lay out a financial plan of finances to that business model that you're doing and quantify what you need so that you can survive during this recession. Now, to kind of smooth this out, at the end, we were looking at direct freight, right? So we're going to take our $1.16 and we're going to go over here to direct freight. And we are going to search for a load. We're just going to look. We're going to just check things out. We're going to see if there's anything on this board that gets us to where we want to go. So we've got here Georgia, and here's our estimated rates column right here. You see what that is. So I'm gonna sort it by the rates, just so I can get a good look. So here we go. We've got an origin is going to pick up in Winder. It's going to go to Norcross. It's a partial. They're saying the weight's $5,000. The rate is $600. Okay, so they're averaging it out to $18.18 a mile. Now, I know Winder and I know Norcross, but they're in my backyard. So when I see this kind of load, I'm like, okay, this is an LTL. That's what this is. So, okay, might be something I can do. But do I want to deadhead all the way there? That's the question, okay? Because I know from where I'm at, I'm picking up, I'm in Duluth, which is really next door to Winder, and I need to go away from myself, okay? And just to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like on the map. Let me give you an idea of what this looks like on the map. So there's Norcross. I'm sitting right on top of Norcross. So I would have to drive out here down in this area, Winder, okay, to get the load. We'll say where this dot is Winder, and then come back. Do I really want to do that? Okay, maybe not. It's a good load, but maybe not. Now what else we got? We've got a couple LTL shipments, it looks like. This one right here says it's 53 foot. They're paying $600, $14 a mile. Now, if this is my backyard, this is my local zone, not too bad. But Fairburn, I know Fairburn is quite a ways from me. So if I'm going to be making only $600, I know Fairburn, for me to get to Fairburn, I'm probably going to drive I'm probably going to spend about $100 and something just to get down there because I got to go through Atlanta. I got to go through Atlanta to get to Fairburn from where I'm at and then cut across the Locust. So I would look through this, but at least I know where I'm looking at, right? I know I'm on here and I'm thinking, okay, I know what I can do. I know what my time zones are. I know what I can handle with my capacity of my truck. So I can go through this list and I can start making some decisions, educated decisions, because I know where I need to be, okay? And as I scroll through this stuff, I'm going to start looking over here. Now, with me being in Norcross, I'm going to want to sort this by origin, and I'm going to start going down here. Okay, Ackworth, no. Adairsville, no. Appleton, no, don't want to do that. Atlanta, Tiffy, if I want to deadhead to there. I know I'm in Duluth, so keep going. Come on, keep going. I showed you I was in Norcross. There's Augusta, way out of my zone. Ball Ground, absolutely not. Way too far north of me. But you see how I'm doing this? I know my area, so I'm more comfortable with making decisions about whether or not I'm just scrolling through because I already know where those things are. But if I was in some foreign place, I'm guessing. I'm like, how far is that? So the strategy that I'm trying to suggest is, if during these times right now, staying local puts you at an advantage, because you are keeping yourself in your backyard in places that you know, so you can make a better decision, so you can stay close to home, so you don't have to be out here eating spending too much money on food. You can go home and eat your groceries. Okay, so coming up on D's, Dublin, Dudley. I'm not seeing anything with Duluth. So I got one in Duluth. Who we got? Okay, so this is going to Tampa, and it's paying, doesn't say. Okay, look at that. And there's another one. It's going to Missouri. So I know I don't want that one. That's going to New Jersey. I know I don't want that one. Now Florida's in my lane. I can do Florida, but it's going to depend. What are they paying? Okay, this looks like it's coming out for Landstar. So what is it paying? So that's the question. If it's something that I want to do, and it's going to Tampa, Florida. So I know Tampa, Florida pretty good. I might. It's going to depend. It's going to depend on the rate. It's going to depend on what I'm able. But I know I need at least $1.16. So with that, I would be looking at. Okay, I know I need $1.16 at minimum at what I calculated. I know I can get back on Florida as far as my fuel, all that kind of stuff. So these are just things you want to factor in when you're making these decisions on whether or not you want to take this route. So I know this one was a little bit longer, but I hope you got something out of it. I hope you got a little strategy. I hope you got your mind turning on how you can put something together during this tough time to stay local in your market using Google Maps, using something like Direct Freight. I'm use that. It's free, and I just use it as a tool to kind of give me an idea of calculations of where I would want to be, and I just use it as a teaching tool for you guys here tonight. So I hope this was helpful to you. Once again, leave some comments down below. Let me know if this was helpful. And this is the end of my 6-part series, but I'm going to be back with more videos like this. And if there's something you want to know, you want me to research, you want me to look into and teach you guys about it, please hit me up in the box. I'll be more than happy to share my knowledge and help you guys out. All right. Peace, and I will see you on the next video. And go get them coins.